It's World Cup semi-final time. The Women's Ashes are on, and it's the deciding Origin match. All that on episode 21 of the Kingsgrove Centre podcast. Welcome, everybody, to another exciting episode. Lots going on in the world of sport, as I said. So we're down to the business end of the Cricket World Cup. It's semi-finals this week. The Aussie girls are going great in the Women's Ashes currently. And, of course, we've got Game 3 of the State of Origin. Joining me today is Charlie Carter. Welcome.
Hello again. I'm back.
Welcome. How you going?
All right, mate. You?
I'm good. And very excitedly, we have a new panel member. The manager of our Westside store, David Solomons. Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome. Thanks all.
Welcome yourself.
Welcome each other.
How are you, Dave? You well?
Yeah, I'm well, mate.
You good?
Nice and cold.
You good? Excited? Mate, what are you talking? It'll warm up. It'll warm up in here.
It's taken a lot of effort to get you onto the show, Dave, so thank you for finally coming on.
Thanks.
Don't worry. You'll be fine. All right, let's get straight into it because we are at the business end of the Men's World Cup. The preliminary games are over. So they finished on the weekend, and it's ended up with India coming out on top of the preliminary games after Australia lost to South Africa by 10 runs. And probably also, not only did Australia lose, but a couple of injuries to come out of that game. So
I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest.
Some interesting times for Australia heading into the World Cup semi-finals. So the semi-finals now will be India versus New Zealand, and then Australia versus England. Mm-hmm. So obviously massive games, but obviously Australia was probably hoping to finish first and beat South Africa, but we played pretty well. Probably not, it definitely wasn't our best performance.
No. I think from
summed up by the first ball, which went for 5 wides.
See, from a personal point of view, I didn't really know if I wanted Australia to win or lose that particular game against South Africa from an English point of view, because I didn't really. If we wanted to play Australia, we wanted it to be in the final. But having said that, with the injury concerns that you guys have got now, perhaps the semi-finals are time to play you.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
No, I definitely agree. I think it'd be interesting with the injuries, especially with Uzi being out. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
You also probably didn't want to play India in the semi-final.
Well, we already beat them in the group stage.
True.
And we back ourselves to beat them again.
But I mean, there was, it's like, how hard did India go in that game? Realistically,
What are you trying to say, Stu?
Nothing at all. No, nothing at all. It's just like, they were pretty much already assured. It's like, they might not have gone as hard as they probably could have. Possibly, but obviously the big thing to come out of the game is that Khawaja is out of the World Cup.
Yeah,
he's out of the World Cup. Stoinis is most likely out of the World Cup as well. He's gone off for scans, which probably don't look to be too good considering he was injured a little bit before. So Australia brought in Mitch Marsh and Matthew Wade.
Oh, they have brought Wade in.
Yes,
Marsh.
Well, I mean, obviously,
times.
they were obviously just looking for an all-rounder. I just hope they don't. They better not pick Mitch Marsh, honestly. Wade looks like he's going to come straight in, which is obviously a good thing. I think obviously, we know how well he's been hitting them.
Certainly
recently.
In the nets.
Domestic summer, it's obviously over with the Australian A team, and he's still scoring runs. He's scoring plenty of runs, 50s, 100s. I think he's now got the fastest list 800 for Australia.
Wow.
So he is in good form. So it looks like they're going to put him straight in.
Look, I don't know if he's used to the conditions over there. He should go pretty well. Now, obviously, Dave, this is your first show with us, so we haven't, or the viewers haven't, heard your predictions for the World Cup, who you thought was going to win, and things like that. What were your predictions before, and how good are they looking?
I thought Australia, because I thought we were peaking at the right time with the boys coming back, obviously. I thought Windies would have done a lot better than what they did. That was my biggest surprise. So, yeah.
And South Africa?
Yeah, I didn't think much of them.
No, only we thought that, Charlie. Yeah, no, we made that error, and what were we thinking that India weren't going to make it?
Yeah,
that might have been out of hope. That might have been out of hope more than anything else. I think maybe because they're obviously
polarised the viewers, isn't it?
They're obviously the best. Well, because they're not on the best side of the world. So if they could have not gone that well and missed out in the semi-finals would have been good for everybody.
Which, speaking of predictions, and also I'm here, guys.
Sorry,
producer Nick in the corner.
I apologise, Nick. As we got into that discussion over there, hang on, I forgot.
I mentioned
I've forgotten to introduce Nick.
Oh, here I am. As Dave brought in the USA cricket hat for me to wear this morning, so even though I look terrible in hats, I've put that on for him this morning. And speaking of predictions, I think my uneducated American prediction, was India, Australia, England, Pakistan. And I missed by one. New Zealand.
Well, Pakistan almost got close. They only had to chase. They only had to set 450 and bowl Bangladesh out in about
feeling pretty good.
Balls.
I think actually no. I think I got two wrong. I think I said England, Australia, Pakistan, and
New Zealand.
South Africa.
No, South Africa.
Right.
Yeah. No. I only said. Yeah. I thought South Africa would go better than they did. So if we look into the semi-finals, obviously India clear favourites against New Zealand.
Really? Clear favourites?
Yeah. Look, New Zealand probably haven't played their best for a while. Their form's probably dropped off a little bit. They're still they're obviously there's still a chance to win. Obviously, it's not like they're out of it completely. But India's in red hot form. Rohit Sharma's scored 5 centuries in this World Cup, so he's got the new record for the most centuries at a World Cup.
So he's due a failure.
He's due a failure, yeah, possibly, or just another 100. The way he's going. So they play on Tuesday. They're the first semi-final, and Australia play New Zealand in the second on Thursday.
Australia v England is at Edgbaston.
Yeah,
Fortress Edgbaston, where apparently Australia have not won in any form since 2001.
So due for a win then. Due for a win.
Well, you could say that, or you could just say that England are going to smash it. I don't know, to be honest. Like I say, I would have preferred to have had Australia in the final, but having said that, I thought Australia would have won it. England had their little dip, like I said. They craved disappointment.
Yeah.
But then Jason Roy's come back into the team, and it just seems to have given England a bit of impetus.
He's made a big difference.
He's made a huge difference. So
not only to the team, but to Johnny Bairstow, his opening partner.
Yeah, Johnny Bairstow's been fantastic. Those 200s he scored were great. But he's done what Rohit Sharma's done as well, and he's not gone on really, or in the last 2 innings at least, he's not gone on and pushed and made it onto the big score,
big
sort of 100 and get out.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, England v Australia in the semi-final, with the injury concerns you guys have, perhaps this is the time to play. I mean, Mitchell Stark's also nursing something, keeps touching his leg very gingerly. I mean, not in the same way as you and I do. But yeah, Khawaja gone, Stoinis gone, Mitchell Stark a question mark.
Yeah.
Hey, that rhymes. Where are we going with that?
Yeah, look, they've come at the wrong time, but could be a blessing in disguise because obviously, so everybody's wanted Steve Smith to bat higher. So I would suggest he would bat at 3, possibly, or obviously the opportunity to put him up in the 3. Although I'm not sure what they want to do with Wade, where they're going to put him, whether he bats at 3, or he bats at 4. I'd be putting Alex Carey up higher. I think he should be batting at 5.
Do you think he should be a floater like they've done with?
No, I wouldn't.
Joss Butler,
I wouldn't float him. I think he should just bat at 5.
Okay.
Because I mean, everybody's worked out how to get Maxwell out. You just bowl, just bowl at head height because he cannot pull. So that I'm sure that will continue. I think I'm sure Jofra Archer, Mark Wood will be aiming around chest to head height when Maxwell comes out, and so he hasn't worked. So I think he'd be better down at 6.
I mean, I haven't mentioned this for a while, but for me, getting Dave Warner out's important. I can give some
Here
advice.
we go.
Don't give advice. Don't give advice.
In the pocket.
Where's the pocket?
In that pocket, there he is.
Look, he is key. He is key. I mean, he scored the 100.
I mean,
in the last dig. So
Jofra Archer's a far better bowler than myself. So just come around the wicket and knock us off stump out. It's easy.
Fair enough. There you go.
Just do it in a match, not in the nets.
Have you got a number for Joffre that you can ring him and tell him that?
Not yet, but
No,
I've got the
you're working-
ECB on speed dial.
You're working on it. Fair enough.
Look at Nick shaking his head in the corner.
Yeah.
I'm definitely
Can we-
shaking my head, man. Like any opportunity you got to bring up the Dave Warner story.
It's been months.
Can we edit that out?
Again, I have so much power.
Yeah.
So much power.
Yeah, just
Right, that's
Technical-
it. I quit.
technical difficulties. Just blank screen. Technical difficulties. So obviously Waterloo's key. Finch is key. You know, Smithy will need to score some runs in this game.
I predict Starkey to get Pfeiffer.
Well,
Injury
no.
or not, he's chasing that record, I reckon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's bowling well. He didn't bowl great in the last game. I think the 6 days off probably actually didn't help us that much. I think we,
lost your momentum.
You lost a bit of momentum, especially at the back end of a tournament. You maybe don't want 6 days. You don't necessarily want 6 days off.
I'm happy for Stark to get 5 wickets as long as he goes for 150.
I don't think he's going to go for 150.
I don't think he's going to either.
I don't think he's
but-
going to go for 150. And that might be a bit
100.
much.
I'll
That might
take
be a bit
100.
much. So, sort of the fifth bowling option is the interesting bit for Australia, with no Storners. That probably, does that mean that Mitch Marsh comes in? Because I don't think we can play an extra out and out bowler. Do you think? I don't think we can play that. So I don't think we play the 2 spinners. I don't think we can play. Look, unless if it could Nile can bat a little bit.
Gee, I don't know. Edgbaston. Horses for courses at that ground. I don't know.
What does it tend to favour?
Oh,
Pace or spin?
It's pretty even, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, historically, it's taken both spin and seam.
Yeah.
You've just got to... It's a place that rewards positive cricket,
Yeah.
to be honest. So it wouldn't surprise me to see Stark run through him. It also wouldn't surprise me to see Nathan Lyon run through him.
Possibly. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
by the same token, it wouldn't surprise me to see Jofra Archer run right through him.
We've got a few.
or Adil Rashid.
Yeah. So we've got a few opinions from the viewers.
We do.
There's a bit of support for England.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I think, I bring something to the show at least.
Well, that's nice.
Just Are we going through them now?
Yeah. Go through them. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that one in the middle there. Let's start with that one.
The winner of England for Australia will win the World Cup.
At Charlie
At
W.
Charlie-
Carter.
Who's
that?
Who's that bloke?
Charlie getting his You're on the podcast, man.
I was
Just
gonna
talk
say,
about your opinions.
Writing into my own show.
Yeah.
Oh, our
I
own
don't
show.
think we need content.
The winner of England v Australia will win the World Cup, is what I reckon.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Be
I
one
don't-
of those two.
India or New Zealand in the final. They'll lift themselves because it's at Lords, but whether it's against England or Australia, I don't think they would beat them.
Right.
I don't know if India make it through the final, which odds are they're going to. They're going to be they'll be tough competitors.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
they won't be easy.
massively.
For the
Well, no,
Aussies.
be interesting to see. So for instance, I'm not sure how the ticketing worked with the final at Lords. So that
think
like
anyone knows.
if India, so if like India get in traditionally, obviously throughout this World Cup, India's had tremendous support. But going into the World Cup final, it may be a little bit more neutral. Obviously, depending on if England make it, obviously then they'll have the massive home support. But if it's India and Australia, how many Indian fans will be there to support India, or will it be more? So will that have an effect? Will that sort of will the crowd be sort of taken out of it a little bit? I'm sure all the England fans will be going for India if Australia make the final.
Oh, not all of them, I don't think.
Not all
I mean,
of that. All right,
a lot
that
will.
was a sweeping generalisation, yes, Charlie. But
Yeah. I think basically because it's also an Ashes summer,
yeah,
that would sort of sway people to want Australia to not win and not get used to winning in England.
true.
So you're right in saying that there would be a big majority of support in India, but I do think that there would be some that may have resentment towards the IPL and things like that.
True.
And will therefore not want India to win either. But rather than supporting a team or not supporting a team and wanting them to lose, I think there'd be more people going out there and saying, right, I want you to win.
Yes. Yeah.
So rather than the negative reinforcement. But you're right. Through our listeners, there is a fair bit of support for England. We've got Faithful47 just says, go England. Fair enough too. Finals, Yasharth 6060 says India versus England. So they're back in England to beat Australia in the semi,
Yep.
as well as India there. I wonder who he thinks is going to win. Maybe you can let us know, mate. Lummy_11 says England to win. I'm not sure if that's the semi-final or the whole thing.
I think that means the whole thing. When people just send through saying they think it's a predicted win, I think they mean they think they're going to win the whole thing.
Yeah. And at Shane 1291, if they can pull out a spell like Perry did last night,
yes,
then Australia will beat England in the
Starkey, that
semis.
we'll get to Elise's work soon.
The poll down there. That's pretty.
The
goes
polls.
other way.
Ooh.
The polls. So the polls are favouring India and Australia quite heavily. So 77% of our polling said that India will beat New Zealand, and 72% think that Australia will beat England.
I reckon that 28% there that voted for England, I'm probably 12% of it.
Right.
Or 10% of it. Good maths.
You voted a couple of times.
Charlie
Yeah.
has 40 Instagram accounts.
He's just done it. Now, what have we got? So, @_ what would that be? JXHNO. How would you pronounce that?
Jono?
Jono, maybe.
It probably is Jono. Yeah.
He has said that the team with the best bowling attack will advance to the finals.
And which team do we reckon that will be?
Well,
Because you match up, like Stark is obviously, in my opinion, probably the best one-day seam bowler in the world at the moment. Jofra Archer's obviously got a lot of work to do to get anywhere close to that, but he's pretty good.
And then you go to India and New Zealand, and you've got Trent Bolt, you've got Bumrah. I think India's bowling attack is better than New Zealand's.
I'd agree.
I think Australia and England are pretty closely matched, to be fair. You've got Starkey, who is bowling very well, leading wicket taker in this World Cup. You've always got Pat Cummins. You've got Jason Behrendorff, who's come in the last few games and bowled really well, and then you've got Nathan Lyon. Then our fifth and sixth bowling option is a bit sketchy.
I'm surprised, really, that Nathan Lyon doesn't get more tap. Really, he's a good bowler and he's got that height and he can turn the ball. But I'm really surprised that more people haven't tried to get after him from the start, because it seems the people that have had success against him knock him off his rhythm.
He's not the GOAT for no reason.
He's not the GOAT. Let's
he
just
is.
get that out. He is not the GOAT.
He's the GOAT.
He is not the greatest of all time.
He's Australia's greatest of all time.
What, spinner?
Off spinner.
Off spinner. All right, well, who's he got to compare it against? I can't even think of
That's why he's the GOAT, man.
Peter May.
No, that's Tim May.
Tim May.
Peter May.
Peter May was English.
He played for England, mate. No, it's a bit of an ironic nickname, mate. But statistically, he's a good bowler, and that's why he's in the team instead of Zampa. So,
And he's a workhorse.
He's been bowling well. So then, if you look at England, you've got Archer, Wood, Wokes, Stokes,
Adil Rashid, Moeen Ali, maybe.
Depends if he plays or not.
Joe Root is a part-timer.
Joe Root's a part-timer. Look, they're very even. I think the two bowling attacks.
I think so.
It's based. So you could say whichever bowling attack performs better on the day is probably going to go a long way to helping their side win.
Yeah, but the batting's pretty well matched as well.
Batting's well matched as well. Yep. Yeah. So the two opening partnerships are evenly matched. They both performed very well. You've got Root coming in.
He's on
for
500
England.
runs.
He's going well. Steve Smith. This is hard to say, but England's batting lineup might be slightly better than Australia's at the moment. If you look at the returns from Maxwell and Stoinis, have probably not been as good.
Well, like you said earlier, perhaps the injury is a blessing in disguise.
Could be a blessing
Wade.
Could be a blessing in disguise. Matt Wade comes in. I think Kerry might need a bat maybe a little bit higher. Would be better for him. Someone like Maxwell is probably better coming in slightly lower, with hopefully maybe 20 overs to go, and then all he's got to do is hit. That suits him probably better than trying to bat it a little bit higher and trying to bat for a long time. So that'll be interesting to see how that works out. What would decide with our batting lineup? So, right.
What batting lineup would you have gone with? Are you happy with the Australian squad, or you think that they've made a couple of mistakes there?
No, I think it's good. I'd stick with how it is. It seems to be working. So why change it?
Why change it? Fair enough.
Well, that's the other thing too. You sort of don't want. You don't want to just get to the semi-final and all of a sudden just throw it all out and try and rebuild it. We have to do that to some degree because of the injuries we've got. But
would you bring in Wade before Marsh, for example?
Yeah, for sure. I'm the Marsh of the Solomons family.
I've got a feeling they may both play.
We'll explain that in a little while.
They may both play, I think. So, Sean can't play because he's broken his wrist, so he's out as well.
How did he do that? Was that
in the nets?
Who hit him?
I think
It was Charlie Carter after he got him out off stump.
Yeah.
No, I didn't get. It was Dave Warner.
I know, man.
Okay, just in case you didn't hear that.
Don't encourage. Don't bring it up.
I mean, I can claim Xavier Doherty as well,
We're gonna
but
try and
it's not as big.
No.
That was your. That's on you. That one. That's completely on you.
This is getting out of control.
Producer Nick.
No, I think Pat Cummins hit Sean on the wrist.
Yeah.
And broke
Okay.
it, and then that was after Starkey hit Glenn Maxwell.
If only he'd come
as
to.
well.
If only he'd come to Kingsgrove Sports and got himself an arm guard, a Kingsport arm guard, he would have been absolutely fine.
They probably should. Yeah, you probably. I mean, if you don't want it in the game, maybe in the nets you probably should be wearing a arm guard. Anyway.
I'm curious back to old Jono's question about the best bowling attacks advancing. Is there, because I don't know as much about the nuances of cricket and but more like on a strategic level, I guess, would when you're playing at such a high level, something like a World Cup, is there a certain advantage to having a stronger bowling lineup or better bowling attacks than, say, like, you know, he asked this question saying he thinks bowling attacks are going to be the key factor versus batting lineups versus, you know, whatever other.
Well,
Yeah.
As with all cricket, really, it's about striking that balance. But in England, for example, the conditions tend to be more bowler friendly.
The best way to reduce the opposition from scoring is by taking wickets.
Yeah, right.
So I mean, like in baseball, it's like, you know, having a good pitcher.
Yeah.
You know, or having, you know, succession of good pitchers. If you've got good pitching, then you're gonna probably win.
And get people out, and then I can be able to score off of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can stick 11 batsmen in the team if you want, and they can score 300. But if you got then no one that can bowl very well, the other team couldn't smash it out of the park.
It's hard to restrict small grounds in England. It's hard to like restrict them to a small total. If you've got a good bowling lineup, they take wickets.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely gonna win you more games than you lose. So, which is probably a little bit. It's different to probably what most people thought. They obviously thought it was going to be a very bat-dominated World Cup, and it has to a point. We've had some players that have batted really well, but they were thinking that we're going to have massive scores. Most people are going to be chasing 350, 380 all the time, and it was going to be huge. But that probably hasn't happened. I think the bowlers have probably bowled maybe better than people thought. Maybe the wickets have been a little bit more bowler friendly due to it being in the early part of the English summer.
And we can ask Virat Kohli about the short boundaries as well, if you like.
Yeah.
What's that?
Small grounds. Like,
shorter boundaries?
So when England beat India, and I'll just drop that in there, Virat Kohli had a bit of a whinge about the short boundary because Johnny Bairstow scored 100 and he targeted that boundary.
But it was small. It was about 59 metres. It was tiny.
Yeah, so it wasn't a big boundary, but at the end of the day, it was the same for them when they batted as well.
Is there not regulation like where it's... I don't know much about that.
Yeah, these guys, they've even got a tree in one of their grounds.
Yeah, at Canterbury in Kent,
really?
there was an
there
oak
was.
tree.
Yeah,
it's gone now.
On the ground.
I'm not sure if it's still there.
Right.
But
Local
so
rule,
within the boundary, they put the boundary around.
boundary.
Wow, interesting.
Local rule was if you hit the tree on the full, it was 6, and if
okay,
I think if you hit it on the ground, it was 4.
Why you wouldn't have got
regardless.
why you wouldn't have got rid of that before? I don't know. Anyway,
because it's a lovely little nuance of English cricket.
It is.
Yeah, I know, but like
I like it.
But when you're making your ground, you go, hang on, let's not put it here. Well, let's not put the boundary behind the tree.
Yeah.
Let's just move over.
It's like saying putting
10 feet this way.
Take one of those Steve Ball catches behind the tree.
You know, like.
Man, if you caught a ball behind the tree, that'd be stuff of legend.
I mean, for me, it would have been far more poetic if it was a willow tree, because they could have cut it down and made some bats out of it.
True, but it's not. All right.
Awesome.
All right. Let's get to some predictions.
That's awesome.
Oh, can I just ask one more question?
Yes, of course.
We had a bit of a debate going on in my shop.
Yes.
On Saturday, and it was about Inzamam-ul-Haq.
Yes.
And his 100 and the way he got out.
Yes.
Do you think hitting wicket
Yes.
is unlucky or stupid?
It's a bit of both.
I didn't catch it. Fill me in on what happened.
So he scored 100, and then the very next ball he faced, he's played one and fell back on his stumps. Basically, his back foot just tipped the stumps, and he got out. So that's
He got out for kicking his own stumps.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a mode of dismissal
mode
called
of
hit
dismissal.
wicket.
Yes.
Right.
You can't do that.
And then the other question I have is, another customer was saying that he doesn't deserve his spot on the team, that he's there because of his uncle. He says his hundreds were only against lower, weaker teams, not the top teams.
No, I don't think that's true. So his
Is
uncle,
it time
his
to
uncle
bring up
is
Mitch and Sean Marsh again.
his uncle is his uncle. For those that don't know, is Inzamam-ul-Haq, a Pakistan great, former captain. Big Inzy. No, I think he's a decent player. I don't think he's there just because of his
Can
uncle,
I just say that Inzamam-ul-Haq managed to get out hit wicket in one of the most comical fashions I've ever seen as well, sweeping Monty Panesar and knocking over Chris Reed as he went through the stumps. Anyway, if we can find a video clip of that, that would be good as well.
Inzy did a lot of funny things on the field.
So Imam-ul-Haq trod on his stumps. And people said he was stupid for doing that.
Yeah, I said he was unlucky. Like, you get to 100
anyhow. Sounds like an accident, right?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I mean, it's look. Shoaib Malik in one of the other games, like, completely dismantled his stumps. Actually, like, just went back and like hit them completely, like trying to play a shot. Now that, I mean, I'm not sure that's unlucky. I'm not sure that's not unlucky. That's a bit silly.
Unlucky is Kevin Pietersen's hit wicket. Do you see that against the West Indies in 2007?
His helmet fell off.
So yeah, Dwayne Bravo bowled a bouncer. So it's a short ball coming at his head. He's gone to hook it. He's missed it. It's hit his helmet. The force of that has broken the strap on his helmet. His helmet has come off and landed on the stumps.
Oh man,
that's out.
Could have hit it though.
Well, he should have hit it for 6. I mean, he was on 100 at the point.
Exactly.
Or 50 or whatever it was. I don't know.
I feel like if you made if you were to make a comedy movie about cricket, that would see something that would happen.
To be fair, if you were making a comedy movie about cricket, Kevin Pietersen would feature heavily.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, well, maybe. Look, I mean, anytime you get out and hit wicket, you are a little bit unlucky and you would feel a bit stupid, no matter what happened.
Yeah, it's one method I've never been out that way.
Yet.
I have.
Yeah, well, now that I've retired, hopefully it won't happen. You have. Talk us through that one. I want to hear this story.
Oh, I'm just a parky, but sand on the wicket was the first game of the season.
Slipped.
So there's still sand, and I slipped and landed on it. So
can happen. Can happen. All right. Let's put what little what was it? Reputation we have on the line.
So just
and
some oak.
Yeah, oak.
See, oak milk, man. We're trying.
Milk, yeah.
We're trying,
That's
guys.
two people. That's two people that favour oak milk.
Vanilla for Dave, please.
Vanilla for Dave. Chocolate for Stephen.
That's flavour.
Okay. India, New Zealand. Who is going to win?
I'd love to see the Kiwis get through, but I think it's just got to be India.
Mm-hmm.
Ditto. I'm going to say exactly the same.
Yeah, that'll be that's a hat trick. That'll be 3 of us. Yeah, I think India's probably going to be too strong there. Now, okay, Australia, England.
It can go anyway.
But if you had to, but if you're forced to make a choice,
which you are right now.
Okay. I think my heart says Australia, but my brain says England.
I like that
answer. So which are you choosing?
I'll go with my heart.
Right.
Stu, you go next.
Australia.
Okay. If you'd have asked me 3 days ago, I would have also said Australia.
I didn't. I'm asking you now.
Today, I say England.
Okay, what changed then?
What changed is the injury worries for Australia, the fact that England have come off 2 wins on the bounce and are looking a bit better with their cricket. And I think that the fact that we're playing at Edgbaston. So the fact that they are playing at Edgbaston.
You want us now?
Not yet. Citizenship interview and test 1st of August. Wish me luck.
All right.
I'll make a phone call.
Shouldn't have said anything. That's what's changed for me. If we're going to play Australia, that's the time and that's the place.
Either way, both semi-finals are going to be big games. They're going to be much must watch. So, so India versus New Zealand on Tuesday, England versus Australia on Thursday, and then obviously the final will be on the 14th of July.
Is Sunday. Now that's a huge weekend. You have the finals of Wimbledon.
Yep.
You have the British Grand Prix. There you go. There's the Formula One for you.
Formula One
and the Cricket World Cup.
Yeah, massive, mate. It's just sport in the UK at the moment. It's massive. It's the place. It's the place to be.
It certainly is.
Now, obviously, we love for you guys to get in touch with us and let us know who you think you're going to win. We've obviously had some predictions from the viewers, but get in touch with us, Charlie, if you can run us through our socials.
Absolutely. So, as ever, Facebook at Kingsgrove Sports Centre, Instagram at Kingsgrove Sports, Twitter at Kingsgrove Sport. They will never be able to handle that plural. No. It doesn't sound like. No. Hashtag KSC Podcast. Use that. We're available on YouTube, which hopefully is where you're watching us now. You can listen to us on iTunes, on Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and of course, KSCpodcast.com.
That's great.
Now, there's still plenty of cricket going on because currently the Aussie women are playing the English women's in the women's Ashes. Game 3 was overnight. So there's been 3 games. Australia are currently up 3-0. It's a multi-format series, the Ashes. So there's 3 one-day games, 1 test match, and then 3 T20s. So Australia currently have won all 3 of the one-day games played.
And therefore are 6-0 up.
Yeah, 6-0 up. 6-0 up. So Australia are only looking to draw the test match to retain the Ashes, which will be fantastic. So obviously in the latest result overnight, which was actually down in Kent at Canterbury, I didn't see the tree.
They cut it down.
I think they finally got rid of it, and it took you a while.
The Spitfire ground.
The Spitfire ground, yep.
I love that name as an aviation buff.
It's got nothing to do with the plane. It's got nothing to do with the plane.
No, I know.
P-52, Spitfire 52, P-52 is a Mustang.
B-52 is the big...
No, P-52.
Oh, P-52.
That's a Mustang?
Yeah.
What's
P-51.
What's the Spitfire?
Spitfire is the better version, the English version with the Merlin engine and the one that won the World War. Anyway, let's not get political.
Let's not get into planes. It's going to take too long. All right. Anyway, so Australia and England overnight. It was taking a whole different direction. So England won the toss and sent Australia in, which was nice of them. Australia got off to not the greatest of starts because we lost an early wicket, but a great partnership between Alyssa Healy and Meg Lanning, put on over 100. Another half century to Alyssa Healy, 68 off 66, and Meg Lanning 69 off 68. Meg was getting into some good form. Then we had a bit of a wobble in the middle, as they tend to do, don't they, Dave? From time to time, just like to sometimes fall in the heat. So maybe we didn't quite score as many runs as we thought we were going to do. So 7 for 269 at the end. Nice flourish at the end from.
More than enough.
Well, it proved to be. Nice flourish at the end from Jess Johnson and Delissa Kimmets. And then it's all the comments were saying that it's a good pitch, it's a good batting deck, it looks really good. So you're thinking 269, good total, but England got some good batters. Should be able to possibly give it a good crack. Didn't even get close. Could have had a second dig.
Then came Pez.
Could have had a second dig. Once again, one of the greatest cricketers of all time, Elise Perry, produced a stunning spell of 7 for 22 to skittle England all out for 75.
Now, that's an Australian record. Is that a world record as well?
I'm not 100% sure. It's a good effort. I know that much. Yes.
You mean Perry's bowling figures?
Yes.
Oh, don't know.
7 for 22. Just ripped England apart. 2 wickets for Megan Shooter and one for Jess Johnson just to finish it off. Australia, 3-0 up.
3 wickets in the first 2 overs.
3-0 up in the Ashes series. 6 points to 0. A phenomenal effort, really, wasn't it, Dave?
Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy. I wonder, why is there no review in the Ashes for the players?
Good question. I was thinking that after it. Well, they've got a big screen, and on the coverage they can do Hawkeye. Of course, England did get 2 questionable LBW decisions. Not that it mattered. It didn't affect the game, but yeah, it is interesting that
there's a segue there, which I'll come to in a minute.
It is interesting that they don't have reviews in the in a series such as this. You would have liked to think that they probably could have had it. Because they have third umpire for stumpings.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like the third umpire, it's not like the third umpire's not there. So stumpings and runouts they are there. So I'd like to see them have it.
I totally agree. There should have been, if they've got a big screen and they've got the cameras, then runouts absolutely should have been available for a review. But what it comes down to is, do they have that technology available at all of the grounds that they're playing in the series? Because they've got to keep the rules consistent throughout. Now they're playing at Canterbury. What other grounds are they playing at?
They played at Leicester for the first 2, and then the test matches at Taunton.
Yeah, so Taunton will have it because it'll all be set up for the World Cup. And some, I don't know about Leicestershire's ground though. I don't know if they'd have it set up. Now, just before you continue with that, just there's a segue in there. You said about umpiring decisions, things like that. Perhaps if Nick will allow me, we can,
go ahead.
Can preview.
Yeah.
For those of you that are interested in umpiring and umpiring decisions, or really just want to, I don't know,
Listen to a good story.
voice an opinion with an umpire. Our next show, we will have Simon Taufel with us, and we'll be grilling him about umpiring decisions and all sorts of things. So make sure you tune in for that one.
Yeah, I would too. If there's anybody who's not aware of who Simon is, if you can give him like a short version of his credentials.
Yeah, sure. So Simon was an international umpire. He's from here in Sydney. He played cricket for a little while for Camaray Cricket Club. I think it was an injury that forced him into umpiring, and he just, got through the ranks. Did 12 years of Test match umpiring, or international cricket umpiring, I should say, before working for the ICC in a
Advisory capacity.
Advisory capacity. That's the word I was looking for. I was going to say consultation.
Consultation.
Yeah, that one, and I can't even say it. But yes, and he's very kindly agreed to come on the podcast and talk to us about umpiring and all aspects of it. So we're very much looking forward to that.
Looking forward to that.
We'll have him with us tomorrow, and the podcast will be released at a later date.
Yeah. The next podcast that we release will be the Simon Taufel special
with Simon. Yeah.
But anyway, so the technology that umpiring decisions used in the Women's Ashes over in the UK, I don't know for sure, but my answer would probably be as long as they've got that technology available at all the grounds, that's what they can use.
Yep. Well, I think they should be then playing at grounds that would have that technology available.
Totally agree.
And use it.
Totally agree.
I don't see why they wouldn't. So anyway, so yeah, the girls are flying. 11-day break now into the Test match, which is disappointing that you only get one. I think it's only one Test match. They only tend to play. I mean, they're obviously playing one Test match every 2 years now, which is disappointing. Or I know all the girls want to play more Test matches. Hopefully, at some stage, the other nations can agree to play Test matches.
This tree, I just saw. Charlie just sent me a picture of the tree at the Canterbury grounds. Is that right?
Yeah.
I'll see if I can't put this picture on the screen.
Now, I know you're fed up of hearing about the Dave Warner story, but I have to admit that in this game here, there's also one of my international wickets, and that one was actually in a game.
Right.
Heather Knight is from Devon.
Yeah.
And I got her with the most horrendous delivery you've ever seen. A waist-high full toss, caught behind. Blah, terrible. Should have been a no ball. But it was very apparent from an early age that she was a very, very good cricketer.
Yes, right.
And she progressed through the Devon ranks and obviously has made it up to England and is doing herself proud.
England captain, probably not the best of form, to be fair. She struggled to score some runs so far in this tournament. So England girls have got the backs against the wall. They've got to pull out a Test victory.
Yeah, and with someone in the form of Elise Perry at the moment, that's easier said than done.
It is going to be easier said than done, and also Meg Lanning got into some form last night. She hit them extremely well. It was good viewing. So the girls are going well, which is good. Good to see. Hopefully we'll get a Test victory. Alicia Healy has predicted that Australia won't lose a game. So currently that is. She's going all right at the moment.
She's spending a lot of time with Glenn McGrath, isn't she?
She's correct. Yeah, it was more in jest than anything else, but I see the English press, as they do, took it and ran with it. So, but so far so good. So, good luck to the girls. Good thing, obviously, too. I mean, the good thing is that Channel 9 are showing those games, so they're on. They're showing the Test match as well, which is great to see. So, if you haven't watched it, do yourself a favour. At least watch some of it, because it's
good cricket.
It's good.
And for the England fans out there, if you are disappointed with watching us continue losing, perhaps you can play the Cricket 19 game, use a King Sport bat while you're doing it, and beat Australia that way.
Not on the Switch yet.
Not on the Switch. Hey, well, we'll have to contact them, ask them if they can give us an idea when we bet on Switch.
Well, I did. They told me it's up to Nintendo. They're waiting for Nintendo.
Really?
Come on, Nintendo.
Good enough.
Yeah. So for those of you that missed that, the Cricket 19 game, Dave here got in contact with the developers and said, "Oi, why isn't the King Sport brand on there?" And cut a long story short, it now is.
Yeah, we got King Sport bats now.
The work that Nick's done with designing the bats is now reflected in a worldwide computer game,
which is brilliant.
I even had the number 2 of the company ring me up.
The number cool. 2.
That is pretty cool.
The big number 2.
The big number 2.
Big number 2.
That's
good
awesome.
stuff. Good stuff. All right.
Do you think, or do you know, does Alyssa Healy train with Stark?
No. I don't think they. Not usually, because I don't think they. When they're together, they tend to just
chill.
Yeah,
play golf.
They play golf.
They
play golf. Yeah, they compete against it in golf. They don't tend to. I don't think they tend to train a lot together.
I wonder whether that might have had something to do with it being so good. You know, training against the best bowler in the world.
I don't think Starkey bowls much to it, to be fair.
Can you see him running in and bowling 150 at his wife?
Yeah, not
You're cooking dinner tonight.
Not gonna. I don't think it'd help much when they're only running the ball about 120. But no, they don't tend to. Lisa does a lot of work with. She's got her own batting coach, Ash Squire. They do a lot of work together. So that's they tend to like to they leave cricket behind when they're together and play golf.
And why not?
Think of other things. Yeah, probably get enough cricket. Obviously, being their profession and being involved in it. So golf is their thing. They play for what they call the Steely Cup. I'm not sure who currently is holding the Steely Cup at the moment.
Steely Cup?
Yeah,
is it an Australian thing?
No. It's just a thing between the Starks.
Oh, just them.
It's just them.
Oh,
yeah, it's just
I
them.
tried to Google it, and that's an inside.
Steely
joke,
Cup
right?
is Stark and Healy, and you put it together.
Steely Cup.
There you go. I was wondering where the name came from.
I think
Relationship goals.
I think Alyssa might be currently holding it. She tends to win. She's a good golfer. So, yeah, but like I said, do yourself a favour. Watch the girls play because you will thoroughly enjoy it.
I forgot to do it earlier when we were still talking about men's cricket, but you want to do a stats quiz?
Sure.
They're my favorite.
Yeah, yep.
I love listening to you guys on
You
stats.
got Sporkle going, have you?
Yep.
No, it's still just looking at the stats listed on ICC. So last time we talked about it, we had a debate whether or not Dave Warner actually had the highest run score. I think we thought he had more than 500 at the time, and
He does now.
he does now. So who's got the highest? Who's got the most number of runs right now?
That
Rohit
is,
Sharma.
That's right.
is
You know how
correct. And he's got 600 and something because
He scored 500s.
Al Hassan was second, wasn't he,
he's-
with 600
He's
and
got
something.
600 something. I think it's Warner second.
Warner second.
Warner second.
And you're right. Al Hassan
Al
is
Hassan is
606 for Al Hassan. David
Yeah.
Warner's got 638. Rohit Sharma was
Um,
647.
Yeah.
Mitchell Stark's got the most wickets.
He still has the most wickets with his 26.
Yeah.
And what's highest score? I guess that's most number of runs scored in a single game. Is that what that means?
Is that still? Is there a few blanks on that? Is that
It's 140 something.
Got a couple of
100
ties.
150. No, 150. Justin Roy 153.
Justin Roy got
Dave-
150, did he?
No, did you get that?
Jason Roy did get 153.
Yeah, I told you. Yeah.
All right.
Aaron Finch.
Aaron Finch has 153 as well.
Yeah. Rohit Sharma.
David Warner, 166. I didn't
There
look
you
that
go.
up or anything.
No,
You did it?
No,
Oh, you did. You
Yeah.
did.
No, correct.
Don't know what you're talking about.
No, what are you talking
No.
about? Oh, that's it. I forgot about it. Yeah, against. Anyway.
Highest inning score? Who scored that?
The only other, the highest what?
That was England. I reckon they
Oh,
got 6 for
here we go.
397.
Oh, well done, Stu.
Oh,
Your
good.
knowledge is fantastic.
Here's
What about the
something I-
lowest, Dave?
And my rating's good too.
You
Don't
got
know,
him
it's
open in
not up
front of
there.
you right now, don't you?
Don't know what you're talking about,
Yeah, we
Nick.
do.
Stop lying.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. What about most runs in a game?
Oh, would that have been Australia v Bangladesh with
Yeah.
714
Yeah,
between
nice
them?
work. Nice work, Charlie. Good work.
Sheesh.
Good work.
There's another stat that's not on this website that I can see, whatever, but on ICC's Instagram account, they've got player rankings
Yep.
with number rating. How do they determine number rating for player ranking?
I don't know.
You know how
I
that
think
works? Some
it's
sort
like
of-
fantasy cricket, isn't
Yeah,
it? So
some
like you
sort
get
of-
points for
runs and wickets and hundreds
Right,
and stuff.
okay.
And so I dare say Rohit Sharma would be fairly high.
Who's got the best batting average, Dave?
That'd
Um,
be Kane Williamson.
And what would be his average speed, do you think?
96.20.
We take all the fun out of it for me if you just look at all the answers.
All right, we'll stop cheating. Stop cheating.
I found it interesting, though. We were talking about when we were going into the World Cup, we had a listener question come in asking us what we thought about Babar Azam.
Yep.
And on ICC's player rankings, he's now third.
Yeah.
And I think at the time we were sort of like trying to brush up on his stats, his credentials.
He's a good player. He played well.
So he's ranked third by the ICC behind Virat Kohli at 1 and Rohit Sharma at 2.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat.
Pretty neat. No, he's had a good tournament. Unfortunately, Pakistan just missed out, but he played well. He's a very good cricketer,
Yeah,
and
nice.
he is he's probably going to be the future of Pakistan cricket, hopefully for a little while to come,
Yeah.
which is good. I think it's time we maybe change tact a little bit.
Is it Formula One time?
No. We mentioned that already.
Oh.
I know. Yes, we are. Yeah, Silverstone this weekend. It'll be.
I'm excited.
It'll be good. As long as maybe no. I was going to say as long as the weather's good, but maybe it might need to rain. Might make it more interesting.
It might.
It might. Anyway, big game on Wednesday. New Zealand. Not New Zealand. They're playing Tuesday. New South Wales, Queensland, State of Origin, Game 3. The
Yes.
decider.
Yeah. Might actually watch that one.
Well,
You should.
if New South Wales win, I might actually buy a Blues top because I'm on the way to Queensland next week. So
There you go.
got to do what you got to do, haven't you?
Just to antagonise them.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Ingratiate
I
myself
was
with the
over there
locals.
just recently. They were everywhere.
I want the Maroons.
What's that, Queenslanders?
Queensland
Yeah, they do tend to be a lot in Queensland. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they do tend to hang around in Queensland.
Macca's
yeah.
were giving away little State of Origin Queensland flags over there.
yeah.
Like
I was
we
going to
get
make
the-
a colonial joke
wanna-
there and
don't
say
wanna
it's
touch
all the Queensland technically, but never mind.
So again, a little bit like Australia. There's been some injuries that have resulted in some changes in both teams. So Nathan Cleary is out for New South Wales. Mitchell Pearce is back in. So maybe not going to say the long-awaited return, but certainly the highly anticipated return of Mitchell Pearce is back. And then on Callum Ponga is out for Queensland, which is a big blow for them.
Sounds like he smells a bit.
So they've got a few changes. Obviously coming back from a big loss in Perth in Game 2. So we will have to see how they go. The coach whisperer is back for Queensland. It worked.
The what?
The coach whisperer.
What is that?
He's a guy that they got in for Game 1. He just sort of advised the coach on a few different things on how to sort of behave or something. He's a guy that
Okay.
I mean, I should get into coach whispering because you can charge a lot of money for it.
Yeah.
It's a very good hourly rate. It worked in Game 1. Queensland came out
Like sports psychology type thing, sort of?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, kind
Yeah,
of.
right.
It's a bit of a mystery what the coaching whisperer does.
With a name like the coaching whisperer, is
it's
mystical.
It's a bit mystical, but look, it worked in Game 1, and they brought him up for Game 3 to see what
right.
happens. So, so David Clemmer is back in for New South Wales after Tarek Sims was rubbed out at the NRL judiciary. So that's good. So David was probably New South Wales, definitely one of New South Wales' best players in Game 1. Missed Game 2 with a wrist injury, but has come back and will be in the lineup, which is a big boost for New South Wales. So the big thing for Queensland is obviously with Callum Ponga out, they've moved Cameron Munster from 6 into fullback, which will be interesting to see how he goes. There he's going to have obviously a lot of room to run around. He may be even more dangerous at 1 than he is at 6. Corey Norman will come in and debut for Queensland. So big game for Corey. Been playing fairly well for St George, but there will definitely be some pressure on him to perform well at 6. And then, for New South Wales, obviously the big thing is how will Mitchell Pearce go? Generally, in the past, whenever he's played and New South Wales lost, it's been his fault.
Wow. Big call.
He gets blamed. Whether rightly or wrongly, whether it was his fault or wasn't his fault, basically, whenever we lost, it was Mitchell Pearce's fault. No matter what he did, no matter how well he played, it was Mitchell Pearce's fault.
Wow.
So,
Point the finger at someone.
and they generally pointed at him. And they, unfortunately for Mitchell, they generally pointed at him. Most of the time, it wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault, but he just seemed to get labelled. So, big game.
I'm curious to see coming off the back of Game 2 and New South Wales won so decidedly, which is rare in Origin.
Yes.
Rare in the favour of New South Wales, yeah.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, there's never too many big scores. There's never too many big blowouts. It generally is always tight, no matter what.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see if that drives Queensland to come back and really hammer us again, as they have a tendency to do.
The two foreigners referring to it as us.
Well, I mean, it's my team now.
It's in New South Wales. Yeah, I think it will. I think Queensland always are always up for the fight. They're always putting in. That's why Game 2 was a surprise. No one had predicted that result. That New South Wales would win by so much. So that was obviously a bit of a shock, obviously too. Because Freddie made 7 changes, and everyone thought he was crazy. But to win by that much was a lot. So Queensland haven't won. I don't think they've won a decider in New South Wales. So That's going in New South Wales' favour.
Really?
Yeah.
We probably haven't had too many games get to the decider.
That's
Not-
well,
yeah,
no,
not
I
New
went to
South
the
Wales.
Dead Rubber a few years ago,
Yeah,
and we won that.
Obviously, when New South Queensland were just winning for fun. It used to didn't used to get to the decider, and if it did, it was in Queensland, and New South Wales would lose.
Yeah.
Anyway,
See, can I just point out that losing streak that New South Wales had there, and you guys obviously support New South Wales, that's pretty much how it felt for every England cricket fan when Australia won every Ashes series from 1986-7 or 1989 through to 2003. Well, 2002-3 if you want to do that. But I mean, at the end of the day, what it boils down to is any of you have tickets or a box at the stadium that you would like us three to come along to, or more.
We'll be there.
We're not going to say no. We'll buy a beer or two for you,
let us know.
or a wine-based drink, or
if it's a box, hopefully it's coded.
well, I was hoping to save my wallet, mate. Why would you point that out?
No, that's what I'm saying. Hopefully it's coded, so then that way we don't have to spend any money.
But it looks like I'm offering generosity.
sorry.
Well, here you go. I've just bought you a complimentary beer.
Here's a meat pie.
Well, if they're giving us the tickets, they would probably already know it's coded and it's not going to work. Anyway,
Either way, we want to go.
I'm already going.
Oh,
I'm already going.
We want to go.
We still want to go.
We'll sit in the box and he can sit in his seat.
I'm up in the I'm up in the outer with the real fans. No, I'd be much happier in a box. Okay, all right. What are we thinking? Who's going to win? And what about a score?
I'm going to go Queensland by 6.
Oh, David.
He's
letting his head rule himself today.
He's not coming back on.
Well,
It doesn't mean he wants them to win.
It doesn't mean I want them to win.
Right.
I'd love New South Wales to win.
His heart says New South Wales, but his brain says Queensland.
Okay.
We need to bring Matty Johns back to Joey Johns.
I don't think. No, I'd rather bring
back Joey and we'll win.
Bring back Reg Reagan.
The
Biff. Bring the Biff back.
Charlie.
New South Wales. Why not? It's about time. Records are there to be broken.
That's true. We are the defending champions. So we are currently the Origin holders. So
when was the last time New South Wales went back to back?
Not for a while.
There you go. It's about time.
Not for a while. Score?
18-16.
Good one. I'm going New South Wales. I think we get the job done, and I'm going to go 22-18.
My thoughts are exactly. I think it's going to be New South Wales by like a try, maybe. Yeah, not by a lot. Be a close game this time.
Even better.
New South Wales.
If we want to score by a lot, that'd be fine. So that I can
save your heart rate,
so that I can enjoy the game.
Yeah.
If we want to be by 50, no problem.
I'm happy with the drop goal in the last minute, to be honest.
No, well, look, that'd be great, but.
From a neutral point of view. Well, I'm not neutral. I'm a New South Wales supporter.
But you know what I've done there? I'm rubbish at tipping comp, so I'm tipping.
Don't say it, because then it'll jinx it. Anyway, it's been another massive week, fortnight of sport. Plenty more coming up. So World Cup semi-finals are going to be massive. So enjoy them.
Get in touch with us.
Let us know what you think. Let us know who's going to win, who's going to lose. What's up?
We'll just run through a few of the ones that we didn't read out earlier. Sure. Udaya Nid High Stark 64. I don't know how to pronounce that. I've done a really bad job of that. Australia confirmed win with the 6th World Cup title, so he's hard and fast supporting Australia.
Good, done. So does that mean we've locked it in? We don't need to bother playing it. We're done.
No,
move on. Thanks very much.
He says we've got it, so I think that's good.
Excellent.
At J Schroeder _8 says, do you think Steve Smith will score a ton?
Yes.
As in another one from now on?
I think he's asking if they're going to score another one in the semis or in the final.
Well, I think it'll have to be in the semis because England are going to win and go to the final. Haider Ali doesn't agree, though.
That's mate.
Haider Ali _0028 says Australia will win the World Cup, so he doesn't agree with me.
Go.
Finals, Yasharth 6060. We mentioned that earlier. He says India versus England.
Yeah, we did.
Ethan Rosetto is a regular.
Regular. Thanks for writing into us, man.
Thanks, Ethan. Keep them coming. He says annoyed that Australia has lost and now has to play England, not New Zealand.
I think they are as well. I think they are as well. To be fair, yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, and Cricket Air is Cricket _ Air 05 is also a regular. I think I've seen his name there before, and he simply says Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. Who wrote that? The Wiggles?
Backing Australia, I'm guessing. Then.
That's the worst chant ever. The Kiwis have come out with a haka, kamate, come in, Aussie, 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 oi,
I
oi,
reckon
oi.
that came out in the world when.
What do you guys do? What
No,
do
we
the
say
English
oggy.
do?
It's an oggy, oggy, oggy.
Is that what you guys say?
Oi. Well, no, we don't.
What's
we don't.
what's the?
Who knows? It probably came from Yorkshire or something like that. Oh, no, that was Hoggy, Matthew Hoggard. Lummy _11 England to win. Harry _Cornford. I think India will beat New Zealand comfortably, and England v Australia will be a real close one.
Yeah, I think
Correct.
that's
I think
probably
that's what- I
accurate.
think that's what we thought
I think
as
that's
well,
very
yeah.
accurate.
Totally agree. And finally, at Keaton St Kemp, I think,
That looks right.
India will win against New Zealand, Australia will win against England, and India to win the World Cup. Now, don't forget to let us know what you think. Use that hashtag KSC Podcast on the platforms we mentioned earlier. Facebook at Kingsgrove Sports Centre, Instagram at Kingsgrove Sports, and Twitter at Kingsgrove Sport. Now, Nick's really good at sending out those polls on Instagram as well, so give us your feedback on
Sure.
that.
That's normally we ask questions and stuff.
Before we tie it all up, if I might, I'm just going to plug a friend of mine who's got a podcast over in the UK. There's a kid that I went to school with called Ben Cajee, who's obviously not a kid anymore. We're in our 30s. Now, he recently did a podcast episode where he interviewed Ian Bell, and it was really good insight into being a professional cricketer and what that entails. So if any of you are interested in that, it's just called the Ben Cajee Podcast, CAJEE.
I'll put the link in the description.
Put that
YouTube
in.
description.
It's
Yep.
episode 2. He's also a children's BBC TV presenter or something nowadays, so he's in the
Cool.
media more than we are. But it's a good listen for those of you that want to listen to what it's about to be a professional cricketer.
Nice.
Excellent.
Cool. So is that it for us today?
I reckon that's
Start
it.
playing us out. Get
Thank
little
you,
tunes
Nick.
going. No
Thank you
worries,
for,
guys. Had a nice podcast this morning.
Keeping us on air. Charlie, thank you once again.
Not a
Dave,
problem.
welcome. Thank you for
pleasure.
coming.
Thank you.
You better
We'll
be
get-
back soon.
Yeah, we'll get you back on.
Right.
West is...
Cheers, guys. Cheers,
Yeah, real good
guys.
having
enjoy the semi-finals, and we will catch you next time.